now I want to focus on labeling, and let me first go ahead and label my cities layer. So if we take a look at the attribute table, so if I right click on my cities layer and click on open attribute table, you'll notice there's a couple of different features here, or actually 12 features specifically. They're all various cities throughout Lane County, and they have both they have a couple of attributes here. We have a city name, and then we have a population here. So let's go ahead, and we want to label the features based on one of these attributes, and it makes most sense to label it based on the city name. So let's go ahead and close this. I'll right click on my cities layer. Let me go to label features, and it looks like it automatically chose what I wanted. So it went ahead and chose the city layer, or the city attribute, which would be the names of each of the cities. So if I want to change the font or anything about the styling of my labels here, I'm going to have to go to the properties of the layer that I selected. So I can go ahead and right click on this and go to properties, and I can go to the labels tab here. And so what we have here is the field that it chose to label all of my features, and then it also has the font, and then the font size, also the font color. I can set it to a bold font, and I can always hit this apply button if I don't want to exit out of this window, and I just want to check and see how these styles are being applied. Here we go. Now, this is the font that really works well on maps. This is the one that the National Park Service uses, and also in the infographics lab, we often use Frutiger. It's just really clean, it's really clear, there's good spacing in between each of the characters, and I think I'm going to go with this. I think I really like the way this looks. I'm going to make my font a little bit darker. I'm just going to hit OK, and I'm going to change up my point symbols here. So I can always click on the Symbology right here, and I can always change and edit and use some of the preset styles here. What I'm going to do is click on this one, and I don't really want this green color. It's a little obnoxious, so what I can do is edit symbol, and here we'll see a way for me to stack and layer symbols here, and I don't want this green color here, so I'm just going to go ahead and click it off and hit OK, and I'm going to hit OK again. There we go. So now that I've got my labels placed, you'll notice that some of these labels are pretty poorly placed here. It doesn't look the cleanest. I think that this label here collides with one of my water features, so I want to go ahead and convert these to annotations. So the way I would do that would be to right click on my cities, and what I want to do is click this convert labels to annotation, and I want to place, instead of storing these annotations in a database, I want to store them in the map, and I want to do this for features in the current extent. So if there happen to be labels kind of outside here, I just want the ones within my current kind of art box here. And so what we mean by annotations are simply, now we have text that are essentially clickable here. I can select on my text, or at least I should be able to. Let me see. There we go. So as long as I use this select elements tool here, if I have that selected, I should be able to click and move around my labels. There we go. So after a bit of waiting here, I was finally able to click and drag my labels, and this might be one of the reasons why ArcMap 10.7 is on its way out. It can be a little bit laggy, but be patient. We're only going to be working with ArcMap in this first exercise, and we will be moving into Adobe Illustrator in the next exercise. But for now, what we've just done was created a whole bunch of text annotation elements here. And so I can click and drag and move this around. I'll click again. I actually really like the positioning of that label. Maybe Eugene, the Eugene label, I want to move a bit over here. Maybe I move it down below and to the left, right here. There we go. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Springfield. Now this is going to be a difficult label because there's kind of a lot going on around. We really want to limit how much collision or overlap our labels have with other layers. So there's a lot of line features here just underneath. We could get into a couple of ways we might be able to fix that. So let's say with some of these labels that I have, like Junction City and Dune City, it's 2 words, and let's say I want to stack them on one another. I can double click on that annotation, and what I can do is go ahead and add a return in between the 2 words, and then I can select how I want my text to be justified. So I can have it right justified, center, or left. Ideally work the best here. And I'm going to go ahead and do right justified. So when I hit OK, what that's going to do is allow me to position the label a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit cleaner. The length of my label is not going to be as long. So this will allow me to stack the 2 words on top of each other and just make a nicer appearance for this label just after it, whenever this thing decides to load up. All right, so after I clicked enter, you can see that my text is now right justified. And so what I can do is just place this a little bit better here. I'm still going to have some collision here, so maybe I can go ahead and move it on the outside over here, and then just double click again and go ahead and make that justification over to the left this time. Let's see how that looks. But I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for Dune City for now. Go ahead and cut that there, and let's try justified to the right. Click OK. There we go. All right, so not too bad.